Good morning. My name is Isabel. I'm the Vice President of Phi Chi Theta Beta Chapter. Here today, I'm with Miss Cynthia at Lloyd's Bookkeeping and Tax, and this is the beginning of our Day in the Life event. Miss Cynthia?
Hi, I'm Cynthia Lloyd, the owner of Lloyd's Bookkeeping and Tax Service, and we've been in business 25 years.
All right. Did you attend college?
Yes, I did.
Where did you go?
I started college in Chicago because I'm originally from Chicago.
Okay.
So I went to Chicago State University, got married, had babies, left college alone. And then I decided to go back to school, but I did go online to the University of Phoenix. I got my bachelor's in accounting and I got my master's in accounting from the same university.
Okay, nice. What made you choose accounting?
In Chicago, we had vocational schools. And so vocational school, we had to pick a trade. And so at that time, early, late 70s, everybody was picking data entry because IBM, typewriters, the computer age was beginning to boom then. And so everybody was picking that and drafting. And I decided, as long as we have money, we're gonna need somebody to count it. And that's why I picked accounting. Not knowing I was gonna love it, but that's how I picked accounting through high school.
Oh, nice. What made you decide to start your own company versus going to work for somebody else?
In Chicago, I wanted to work for one of the big 8 at the time. I wanted to work for Arthur Anderson or Price Waterhouse.
Okay.
But we moved to Martin, and we didn't have a Chicago's metropolitan, Martin is southern, so we didn't have that here. But I was helping our congregation with some book work. We were trying to get established. Our church was trying to get established here, and they needed someone to do some book work. And the president of the bank saw my work and asked me if I would come and talk to him. So I talked to him, and he was saying, had you ever thought about starting your own company? I said, well, no. And he said, well, what would stop you from starting your own company? What would hinder you? And I told him, well, money. You know, I didn't have the money to start a company. I didn't have a spot. You know, it was a lot of work to have to get your name out there and that kind of thing. So he said, if we could get you connected with someone at the Small Business Association, would you consider? He said, you have a talent. I didn't know if he was just telling me that or what. So me and my husband, we talked about it, and he said, well, why not? Why not? And so I did. I opened my office in Sharon. And matter of fact, I have a picture of it where we opened the office. And our intention was just to do taxes. We just gonna keep it simple and do taxes. But after that, it just blossomed into something much bigger, and I'm happy about that.
Nice. Did you have to do any extra training or get any certifications after you got your degree initially?
Actually, I got my degree after I started my business because I figured I was gonna need the credential. When people ask you, how do you know what you know? You can't just say, well, I read it, I Googled it, So I got my degree after I started my business, but I did a lot of reading. In Chicago, well, part of our accounting course, we had to do what they call VITA, volunteer income tax assessments. So we had to volunteer, and that's what made me like tax so much. Well, in order to volunteer to do taxes, we had to learn how to do taxes, and so that was one of the things that I learned. So from there, I learned that you could become, you have to be certified to do taxes, but you could still get courses. You could take courses. You could be an EA, an enrolled agent. And so that was my mindset to become an enrolled agent, to have some credentials. But then the thought came up, why don't you just get your degree? What are you waiting for? So I did it that way.
Oh, cool. That's an interesting path to go about it. Would you say that this is where you thought you would be? Like when you started, like when you got out of high school, when you started thinking about what you wanted to do with your life, did you ever picture yourself here?
No. No, from a Chicago Southern, no. But from working in the accounting field, it wasn't, because I've worked other jobs. I worked for the city of Chicago doing payroll. I worked for Allstate Insurance doing payroll and doing accounts receivables and stuff like that. So I always stayed within the field.
Yeah.
I just never thought about where it would lead.
Can you explain for us what you do on like a day-to-day basis? So for anyone who wants to be an accountant or a bookkeeper or any of that, what does your actual day-to-day activities look like?
Well, during tax season is the busiest time, and we to prepare for tax season, we have to keep up with the tax code. So many different things change, and so the average person doesn't know. You know, one of the questions that they've asked me is, will we have to pay tax on the stimulus check? And not necessarily pay tax, but you're probably going to have to report it. But you get that through reading articles, and I've joined the National Association of Tax Practitioners, so I get articles from them. I get articles from the AICPA, different websites, different professional groups, and they keep you abreast of what's going on. My software company that I use, they send us articles and let us know about webinars if we want to join the webinars and get to up to date. And right now we're working on going virtual, which I really don't want to do because I like the face-to-face contact. But they're trying to encourage us to have a plan B in case after this pandemic we're just doing nothing. But being able to convert the business to a virtual business and possibly work at home, which I don't want to do either. And so, you know, during tax season, we're scheduling appointments. We're going on with the clients what they need to know, what they need to bring. We get those taxes and things done. We file our reports, make personal notes of our own, things that we don't know, things that we need to do, making check notes or checkpoints. If we run into any situations that we, you know, might need to clear up or gain more knowledge on, then we do those things, read the articles, ask questions. I even ask, you know, questions in the neighborhood folks that does what I do. Different questions if I run into something I just don't know. You know, there's nothing wrong with asking.
Very nice. What would you say the biggest lesson you've learned since you started all of this is?
Keep a balance. Keep a balance. It does nobody good if you're going to work 24 hours, 7 days a week. If you're tired, you can't think. If you need a break, it's okay to take a break. And so learning of keeping a balance and asking for help. If you need help, ask for help. It's okay to say, hey, can you come answer the phones? Can you do this? And I do usually have help during tax season. But after tax season, it gets a little slow. And I have some small businesses that I do work with, but I don't really need extra help to work with those businesses. So during tax season, it's kind of a slower time. So I don't have to do as much. But the main thing is learn to keep a balance. Keep your family life. Take a break when you need to. Ask questions if you need to. It's okay to say you need help.
Yeah, I think that's a good lesson for a lot of us to learn.
Yeah.
What, for my final question, what would you say the most prominent skill you use in your job field is? And then, like, how did you obtain that? Did you just, learn it, or did you take a class? Like, what would your advice to an up-and-coming student be?
From a student's perspective, I would say, make sure you learn the concepts. I'm currently sitting for the CPA exam, and it's a very hard exam. And most people think, oh, it's a breeze. No, it's a hard exam. And one thing I've learned is that situations might change. The way they ask questions, the way questions are asked might change, but the concepts never change. It's the same thing. If you've ever taken an accounting class, what debit means is going to still be what debit means. Credit is going to still mean what credit means. So I think what I've learned through this is analytical thinking and really dissecting what we're really supposed to be doing and why we're doing it. Don't assume. And I think that I just learned that through hands-on experience,
Right.
Not assuming.
Right. Okay, well, thank you. I feel like I've learned a lot, and I hope this was beneficial to everyone watching at home. Done.